Hello, hello, my friends. A dedicated review for you today from the new Kringle Candle Boo Crew lineup. This is going to be my first review for that collection. There are 6 candles that will be offered in the part 2 of Kringle Candle Halloween. Well, I should put it that there will actually be 12 candles, but there are 2 separate collections. There is the Boo Crew and there is the Spellbound collection. So this first review today that I'm going to be talking about is Bobbing for Apples. Full disclosure, you guys, this candle was sent to me in PR by Kringle Candle. As always, I will keep it very real with you, what my burn experience has been, as well as what my nose is smelling, and leave it in your hands to determine whether this candle is worth spending the money on. So let's just go ahead and talk about here the packaging on this collection is 100% more so up my alley. I have seen some comments. I do believe that these are AI generated images. A lot of people have voiced some displeasure about that, which is fine. I get it. I get it that people would prefer that they use real artists. For me personally, it's not really a sticking point. On this label here, we have, it looks like a little baby wolf, a baby bunny, a raccoon, and a little crocodile. Looks like they are dressed up for a woodland Halloween party and they are bobbing for apples, which, can we just say, like, there are certain things that I, as a germaphobe, sometimes look back on and think, like, who thought that was a good idea to, like, just let a bunch of children most of the time, but like random people, like, stick their face in a thing of water and try to grab apples. Like, I don't know. I look back on that and I think, like, who thought that was a good idea? Ugh. I don't know. Maybe we're all getting some natural immunity for the winter seasons coming up, I guess. But regardless, packaging really cute on this one. This is definitely more in line with what I would gravitate towards more for the Halloween holiday. You guys know I'm not really big on it to begin with, but the packaging on this is really cute. This is in one of their standard 2-wick vessels, and you will also see that this is the ombre jar design that they initially launched in the 2024 Halloween collection. When I turn the vessel to the side here, well, you can kind of see it right here. You can see that there's a little bit of like an ombre effect. It's not the full black matte, or not even black matte anymore, the black translucent jars that we had in the first round. But yes, there's 22 ounces of 100% soy wax here. This will retail for $34, and this candle will be available on Friday, August 15th at 12 p.m., not midnight, but 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time. So depending on your time zone, you might want to make adjustments. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes on this one. We have top notes of tangy apple, juicy pineapple, creamy peach. Mid notes, sun-kissed melon, intoxicating hyacinth, sugared amber, base note of earthy applewood, vanilla crystals, and sensual musk. The pour date of this candle is July 15th, 2025. Okay, so this fragrance to me, I mentioned in my like initial cold sniff impression video that this candle to me was a very, very sweet apple. Probably it's not as tart as like a Granny Smith to me. It almost comes across to my nose, the sweetness in here would be almost the sweetness that you would get from like a Fuji. Very, very sweet apple, but the other fruit notes in here combined with that sugared amber, the vanilla crystals, upon burn, this fragrance kind of takes on what I would say would be like kind of a Jolly Rancher type of feel. It's a very, very sugary, fruity candy, not like a taffy. There's no elements of that. It reminds me very much of like a hardened candy, like a Jolly Rancher, maybe like a lollipop, which, you know, I'm not really sure that the fragrance meets the title, I would say, of this candle. I can see how this would be a Halloween candle in the idea of it being like Halloween. We think of trick-or-treating, a lot of candy. And so this definitely leans more towards the fruity candy, but this isn't really like autumnal fruit to me. This is definitely, a lot of people were commenting on not only my video, but I saw it on a couple of other ambassadors' videos, that this sounds a lot more like a summer fragrance. And I would agree with that. I feel like this is more of like late spring, summer type of scent. The hyacinth in here, while being a floral, that is a sweeter floral, and this doesn't come across too floral to my nose. This is definitely more so just like a very, very sugared candy type of candle. You get that apple, you get, you know, maybe some peach and pineapple adding extra sweetness to it, melon. It definitely, if I were just to say like what candy it reminds me of, it definitely reminds me of a Jolly Rancher. Personally, for me, I feel like this type of fragrance for the name of this candle, I would have liked to have seen them go maybe with more of like a caramelized apple type of note. You know, something in the vein of, I would love for them to do a twist on like say Bath and Body Works Summer Boardwalk. I feel like that would have been a little bit more fall-like, I think. But I also acknowledge that Kringle is oftentimes trying to think outside of the box, and they are trying to meet the preferences of a lot of other people. I know that Bath and Body Works also has some very sugary, sweet type of fragrances. It's at the top of my head right now, but I can't think of exactly what fragrance it is that they have in Halloween packaging. But it's definitely more of like a summertime. It's like a super, super sweet fragrance. But yeah, I think that this is kind of like their attempt at that. Not saying that they're trying to dupe the Bath and Body Works fragrance. I'm just saying that I think that they're trying to offer a really, really sweet, sugary fragrance for people who prefer those types of fragrances year round. Maybe they're not as into the seasonal burns, but put it in like Halloween packaging. That's kind of my impression. But overall, you guys, this one to me smells like an apple Jolly Rancher. That's pretty much like the synopsis of the fragrance to my nose. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance. So you can see I am at about a third of the way down on this candle. The wicks are pretty good on it, nice, decent flames. I have had this candle lit for about 3.5 hours now. You can see like I do trim the wicks just a little bit after each burn, but they're not burning too excessively hot. In fact, all of the candles that I've burned so far, I'm not really having any wick issues. They're not burning too hot, but they are nice, healthy flames. And as you can see, that translucence there, you know, with that ombre effect is actually very, very pretty. Strength and throw on this candle, you guys, this is one of the more solid performers, I would say, from the Boo crew so far. This one I'm going to give about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. It performs well out in my open concept. It doesn't throw all the way into my kitchen when I'm burning it in the open concept, but it does definitely fill up the living room. It is a detectable fragrance. The fragrance also likes to linger for a little while after I've extinguished the flames. If you have a closed concept home, you're going to be very, very pleased with the performance of this one. From the get-go, it's been a pretty steady 7, I would say. Not going to knock you out, not going to bowl you over, but also keep in mind that this type of fragrance, I feel like if it were any stronger, it might be cloying, just because it's the most, I would say, intensely sweet fragrance out of the entire Boo Crew collection to my nose. Do I enjoy it? Yes. Do I feel like I need more of them? No. You know, it's a nice fragrance. It's not really something that I would burn this time of year. So I feel like this is like one of those fragrances for me that like if somebody were to walk into my house and say like, oh, I really like that fragrance, I would honestly probably part with it. I'd be like, here, you can go ahead and have it, just because I am a seasonal burner. Oh, don't know what my camera's doing there. Sorry about that. Just because I am a seasonal burner. And this just doesn't really fall into like what I am looking to burn in the fall. But I can definitely appreciate the aesthetic of it and where they were trying to go with this in being a little bit of a different candy fragrance. In their part 1 collection, they did release Trick or Treat, which was like a chocolate fragrance. And so I think that this was kind of like the answer to like, if you don't really want a chocolate fragrance, but you want something that smells like candy, then, you know, that's the route that they're going. I could see this actually being a really popular scent. If you are somebody who maybe has young children in your home, maybe you're going to be hosting like a fun, cutesy Halloween type of party for young children. I actually think that this would probably be a really fun background fragrance because it does make the kids think of like sugary, sweet type of candy. That's the setting that I feel like this would probably be a great little you know, it would be a great setting to go ahead and burn this candle in. So overall, you guys, the performance, I give a thumb up to. The fragrance itself is actually a really nice fragrance, but like I said, I think that I would enjoy this scent more so in the summertime than the fall and winter. So from those perspectives, I guess I would give it like a thumb and a half up. It's not something that I see myself repurchasing, but I am really thankful that Kringle sent this to me for review purposes. When this candle does go live, I do have an affiliate discount code code with Kringle that can save you 15% off of your purchase. Katie15 is that code. It is eligible for a commission, so please only use that if you are comfortable doing so. And make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, because I will continue to review all of the rest of the Boo Crew fragrances, as well as it looks like I'm going to go ahead and be able to give you guys my thoughts, some post-burn thoughts on the Spellbound collection as well. So that has actually been a surprising hit for me. So make sure that you are subscribed if you don't want to miss out on any more reviews. Please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful, and let me know in the comment section down below if this one is on your list. I know that quite a few people were just saying, like, regardless of the fragrance notes, I just want all of these because of the labels. But also I do want to make sure that I give those of you who are trying to, finalize your list and put your budget together well. I just want to give you guys all of the information that you need. So I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.